Welcome to New Money here on CCTV News. I'm Michael Wong. Technology is reinventing traditional industries as we know it. This week, we profile how internet companies are making their very own smart TVs and challenging traditional TV manufacturers. We ask, who will win China's smart TV war?
Nobody does it better than internet companies when it comes to making their product presentations captivating carnivals, their customers adoring fans, and their CEOs edgy rock stars. Their most daring move, creating cheap smart TV sets. LeTV, a long-time video content provider, began making its own smart TVs in May 2013. The company says it sold 1.5 million TVs last year and aims to peddle 5 million in 2015. LeTV offers just over 12,000 TV sets to its customers each month online and can sell out in less than 10 minutes. One of the company's flagship products is a 50-inch 4K TV that has 4 times the resolution of most high-def sets. The price hovers at just under 3,000 yuan, or about $500 US.
Even up until now, TVs are still called, on their packages, their official name is still television receiver. TVs still receive content from TV stations. I think the problem now is that the world of hardware is split. Manufacturing and service are separated. TV manufacturers will have nothing to do with consumers once they've sold their products. The content providers, namely TV stations, are only responsible for broadcasting programs. In fact, consumers nowadays don't really need any fancy hardware. They need the service behind.
That philosophy voiced by Peng provides LeTV enough incentive to require that its TV buyers fork over a binding 2-year service fee of 980 yuan or $160 US for on-demand video, TV dramas and movies.
It's called bomb pricing in the industry, which means we set the prices just slightly above the material costs. We wanted to set the bar for buying a 4K TV really low. We wanted more people to come into the circle and be willing to pay a subscription fee every year. In fact, we are not selling TVs, not hardware. I always tell people we are not a TV manufacturer.
LeTV isn't the first internet company with an ambitious game plan. Xiaomi is an internet-based smartphone producer that's been a much earlier bird in developing a huge customer base with low-priced hardware. Xiaomi's own smart TV became available online in October 2013. The company has also been busy expanding its business to include other Southeastern Asian countries. China's largest e-commerce, Alibaba, brings a slight twist to the new game. The internet giant offers set-top boxes that can turn conventional TVs into smart sets, where viewers can have access to much more on-demand, free content, such as TV dramas, shows, and movies. Alibaba also joined hands with major manufacturer Skyworth in September 2013 to market a hybrid smart TV that sold for about 2,000 yuan or $350 US. Wen Hao is an equity analyst who specializes in the media industry, and he has been closely following the trends since 2011.
This is a revolution of business models. In the traditional specialized world, manufacturers only make money on hardware. But when it comes to the mobile internet and internet TV eras, the borders become much more blurred. They are increasingly making hardware as users' entrance to their service rather than a profiting point. This will disrupt traditional manufacturers who always profit on making hardware.
But internet companies are facing policy uncertainties to become TV content providers. As early as in 2011, China's top media regulators specified that over-the-top devices were not allowed to provide live TV feeds to viewers. Over-the-top, or OTT, refers to set-top boxes and smart TVs that deliver TV content without relying on cable, satellite, or an internet service provider. In September 2014, several major Chinese internet video websites put up notices on their TV apps saying they would suspend their programs delivered on TVs via the public internet to follow the State Media Administration's regulation. This means these internet companies can no longer directly deliver content to viewers on TVs. Instead, they have to work with one of the 7 licensed, state-owned internet content providers.
So these days, we're seeing content providers stepping into the world of hardware. So why are they making such a move? Before I introduce today's guest, make sure to use your smartphones to scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen and follow CCTV News' official WeChat account, where you can find more New Money episodes. All right, Professor Jia Ning, Deputy Director at the China Business Case Center at Tsinghua University, joins us to talk about whether or not these internet companies coming into the smart TV world are truly disruptors or innovators to the industry. What do you think?
In terms of the business model, I do believe that smart TV is truly disruptive in nature, in the sense that with the internet companies coming in, it's really reinventing the wheels. It's really reshaping the competitive landscape of this industry sector. Right? So the hardware manufacturers used to be competing just on the hardware front, whereas now with the internet companies, with content coming in, they are competing on content and even on the overall ecosystem.
So, Professor, there seems like there's 2 dominant business models right now for internet companies trying to jump into the smart TV sector. On the one hand, you have internet companies who actually have their own full production chains, and you have other internet companies these days that are actually partnering with traditional TV manufacturers to make these TVs. Professor, let's talk about the cons now.
If company wants to do everything by itself, one of the downside is it has less control over the product quality, because even for companies like LeTV, it doesn't really own any manufacturing facilities, so it still have to outsource the production onto a third party. Right? So that's one potential downside. And another downside is the company will face a higher entry barrier and learning curve, right? In the sense that they are tapping into a unfamiliar territory, so the learning curve is likely to be very high. In comparison, if a company work with a partner, which is a traditional TV manufacturer, then there are also several downsides, right? So one is diverging focus, in the sense that internet companies typically focus more on the consumers, whereas traditional TV manufacturers tend to focus more on product qualities, right? So their incentives may not be perfectly aligned. That's one potential issue. Another issue is actually hardware-software integration, in the sense that both parties have already invested a lot into their operating systems, into their software. So who wants to give up, or who should give up their investment? That's another concern, right? And another downside is partnership exclusivity, right? In the sense that hardware manufacturer can work with multiple internet companies as their partners. So you may be running into all these issues of proprietary information gets out, right? And these are potential concerns.
So, Professor, as we saw from our report, these internet companies trying to get into the smart TV sector, well, they're facing some policy uncertainties these days, because it seems like they can't now provide directly internet content to their direct TV viewers. How do you think this regulation will impact these internet companies and their ideal business models? How do you assess that this will impact internet companies in general coming into the smart TV market? How do you think it'll impact these hybrid players where internet companies are cooperating with traditional TV manufacturers, and how is it going to impact these these online companies who have state licensed broadcasting abilities in terms of content?
Right. Well, I think the companies that's really taking a toll as a result of these policy changes is actually companies like LeTV and Xiaomi, right? Because if you look at it, they are already selling their TV sets and their set-top box at very thin margin. So initially, they were hoping to make money off of their content, but now since they can't directly stream their content onto smart TV, they have no choice but to work with one of those currently 7 licensed service providers, which means they will have to do revenue sharings, and they lose bargaining powers on that front, right? So their margin will actually go down, and revenue will go down significantly. But having said that, I think the parties that will benefit the most from these series of regulatory changes is actually one of those seven licensed service providers like CNTV or Best TV, because they have the license, so it definitely gives them a leg up, right, in terms of doing revenue sharings with the online content providers. But I think having said that, at the same time, they're also taking on additional responsibilities to censor content. So of course there's more money to be made, but at the same time they're also taking on additional responsibilities.
And you never know, these regulations might potentially force these internet companies making smart TVs to innovate in other ways that we can't predict right now.
It's possible, yes.
Okay. All right, thanks, Professor, for that. And just a reminder, folks, you can always follow CCTV News on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for our current and past shows. Just simply enter into the search field CCTV News. Well, the trend of internet companies here in China heading into the hardware space and making their own TV seems like already an established trend. The question now is, how should traditional TV manufacturers respond? We'll answer that next.